attention I've been giving to you.
All right, guys, welcome back for another video. So today we are literally going to get into some backyard mechanic stuff. So we are going to change the transmission fluid as well as add a conditioner to this 2012 Toyota Tundra, and this should work between 2007 and 2013. So we're going to show you how we do that. Reason we're in the grass, which I'm not super excited about, is because I have a project going on at my house. This is actually my parents' place, and the customer didn't feel comfortable driving the truck the half hour to my place with the way it was shifting. So what I suspect is happening is this fluid has burnt the torque converter shuttering a little bit, and in my 7 years at Toyota, we never had issues with the Tundra torque converters. This thing did pull a lot of weight, a skid steer trailer. This customer's son used this to start up his construction company, and while the Tundra, in my opinion, is overbuilt for a half-ton pickup, it's still a half-ton pickup, so that's hard on these things. So we're going to drain the fluid. I'm going to show you exactly how to change the fluid on one of these things, check the fluid level, all that good stuff. So I'm going to flip you around and show you what we're working with. All right, so we got some full synthetic automatic transmission fluid. Again, I wish I was in my shop so I had all of my tools, but we just went and picked up an oil drain pan from Walmart, a bucket that measures quarts. We're going to show you why that's important in a second. We got some Lucas transmission fluid conditioner. Lucas makes really good products. We got a Harbor Freight transfer pump, hand pump deal. We got a crescent wrench that's going to be for the 24 millimeter fill plug. You're going to need a 6 millimeter, I believe, 5 or 6 for the check plug, and then a 14 to drain the fluid. All right, so I apologize for the angles we're going to get under here, but this is the 14 you're going to pull out to drain the fluid. We got our pan here, and then this is going to be that Allen check plug. Now, what I like about these Tundras versus the newer stuff, being from like 14 to 20, is that on the newer ones, you only have this plug. This one doesn't exist, and what you're going to do to drain the fluid out of the newer trucks is you take this out, then there's a nylon insert that's threaded up there, so it sticks up and extends the height of that hole so that the fluid can't drain out. So you'd actually have to take that nylon insert out of there as well with an Allen. Not super hard to do. This is just a little more convenient. So we're going to drain the fluid out of here, and then we'll measure and tell you exactly how to use this. This is actually the second time we've drained the fluid on this Tundra, and we'll talk about that more in a minute. Looks a little bit dark. It doesn't smell nearly as burnt, and it's not as pitch black as it was before. But when you do a drain and fill like this and not a pressurized flush, you are not going to get everything out of the torque converter. So doing it a couple times is ideal. All right, so now we're drained, pretty easy. Now we're gonna take this bucket and we're gonna measure exactly how much came out of there. All right, you guys, so like I said, this is a drain and fill type application on this truck. When you get anything with higher mileage or you have really dirty fluid, and when I took a sample of this fluid the first time we did it, it was pitch black, it stunk, it was burnt. Anytime that a vehicle is high mileage and you don't know the last time the transmission was ever serviced, or the condition of the fluid is that poor, in my opinion, you do not want to pressure flush anything like that. Think of a river, right, where the water runs nice and slow and there's dirt and debris and gravel and sand all on the sides. If you came through and sped that water up, it's going to churn all of that stuff up in there. And in these modern automatic transmissions, sometimes if they're in poor condition, that's the only thing that's holding everything together and keeping stuff from getting plugged up. So I highly recommend just doing a drain and fill, and that is the reason we're doing this twice, because we did it the first time, we're just going to do a simple measurement, but it's not going to get everything out of the torque converter, such as a pressure flush per se. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do. Pretty easy. Just follow a few simple steps. So now I'm just going to take this, I'm going to dump it in there, and we're going to see exactly how much we took out. All right, so we got just about 3 quarts out of this thing. Again, you're not going to get everything out. That's why we're doing it a couple times. You can see the condition of the fluid isn't horrible. If you could smell, no, you can't smell that, but it's not terrible. It's not great by any means at all. It's still pretty dark, which means we're getting some more of that old fluid out of there, but it's not pitch black like it used to be. And if we look in this pan, you don't see really any metal deposits or anything like that. You can see bubbles on the camera there, but overall, not as bad as it was. You can still see there's a red tint to it, and before was not like that at all. It was blacker than this bucket, so we're getting somewhere. We're gonna get this out of here, wipe out this bucket, then add our new fluid. All right, so now we're going to add this Lucas automatic fluid conditioner, and I'm not a snake oil guy, but Lucas has been around for a long time, and this is far from snake oil. This is actually really good stuff, just has a bunch of additives and conditioners in it. Automatic transmission fluid is already full of conditioners and anti-corrosive material, but we're going to use this, and you can actually use the whole bottle. If you're actually just filling your truck and you're not doing this drain and fill like this, you can add this right to the standard level that's already in your truck. It's not going to hurt anything, but we're just going to add it to our mix here. So just go ahead and dump this entire bottle in here. One other important little side note, if you're doing it this way, so we were at that 2.5 liter mark when we measured the old fluid that we took out. Go a little bit above, because when you use one of these siphon pumps, you're not going to be able to get everything off the bottom of the bucket. So I put a little bit extra in there, and now we're going to go ahead and show you how to fill it. All right, so this part's going to be kind of hard to see, but under that black bracket there, see that? That's your 24 millimeter fill plug, and you might actually need a socket for it if you don't actually have a proper wrench. A crescent wrench may not get you in there. I kind of forgot about this webbing piece in the casting here. So get yourself a 24 millimeter socket, take that out, and put your out portion of the siphon tube right in that hole. Mom's in a video.
No.
All right, so we got the new fluid, we got our hose, we got the in going to the pump, and the out is up in that hole where that 24 is. So we're just about pumped down there, so we got to keep going. All right, so that should be just about good there. We're going to run back over to the other side. You want to put a little extra fluid in there from your new automatic transmission fluid, and we'll tell you why in just a second. So we're going to add a little. All right, so now what we got to do is we added a little transmission fluid. Oh, and once that shop gets done being built, that's going to be our second location for Shift, Wrench, Repeat. So we got to wait for that. But now that the fluid is in the bucket, we cracked that Allen nut loose. We'll show you exactly why. We're just going to start the truck. And now we just got to wait and let it get to operating temperature. All right, operating temp is a go. I'm just going to tell you what we're going to do in case this camera work gets botched, because it's a little hard to get under here. See that Allen head right there? So we're going to pull that out with our pump still hooked up over there. And what you want to do is wait till the steady stream turns into a dribble. As soon as it turns into a dribble, then you want to put that plug back in. So we're going to remove it. I already have it loose. All right, so we're all cleaned up. Literally, I had to change shirts. The condensation tube for the AC was right on my cardboard, and I got soaked, so I didn't want to get in the truck like that. Obviously, just take your hose out, tighten up that hex, and tighten up the 24, and then go take it for a drive, see what happens. All right, guys, so we finished the Tundra. It seems to be a lot better. It's to the point now where that shutter that was there from the torque converter, if you didn't know what you were looking for, you probably wouldn't even notice it. And obviously, we're going to give that additive a little bit of time to work into the system there, but hopefully that fixes that. Otherwise, we're going to have to start pulling some live data from the torque converter and see exactly. To me, it feels like from a 1-2 shift is where it happens, but unfortunately, when it's been worked hard like that, it might just be how it is now, and it might need a torque converter. Right now, we are standing in the shop that my dad is building. We got these big beams lifted up there with a hand crank. It's absolutely insane in here, you guys. The one thing that wasn't super ideal with this setup is we ended up having to put this steel column in just because there was no way to span that all the way across with a crane, so we ended up using two. But there's going to be a lift in this section of the garage. There's going to be a loft over here. That sunroom over there is for my mom, and it's going to be awesome, guys. This is going to be badass, so I'm excited about it. I just wanted to bring you this video and show you some of the stuff that's happening on modern vehicles, and it started quite a while ago, actually. That's a 2012 Tundra, and there's no dipstick in it. It's basically made to be in-serviceable to the modern consumer, right? Back when I worked at Toyota, a few farmers would call in. They're like, I just want to check the transmission fluid level on my Tundra. I had to replace a cooling hose, and we're like, well, you kind of got to bring it in, because while it's a simple process, if you've never done it before, I've done it hundreds of times, it would be, there's a lot of room for error there. You don't know exactly what you're looking for in the dribble. You have to have it up to operating temp. There's a lot of variables, and it's just getting to the point where I think at some point they're trying to make it impossible for everyday people to work on their cars. You know, if you don't have a background professionally repairing vehicles, you're not going to be able to work on the stuff. I believe it's Kia and Hyundai both have completely inserviceable transmissions. They say that the fluid should last the life of the vehicle, and I call bullshit on that, because there's no way I'm leaving a fluid in my vehicle for the entire life of the car. You're going to be replacing transmissions on those things, but time will tell. So you guys, I wanted to bring you this video just to kind of take you along on a little mobile mechanic repair that we had to do, and then show you how the shop progress is going. So you guys, if you enjoyed today's video, drop me a like down below, like and subscribe if you have not already. We'll see you next time.